Think about the coaches who've shaped the best young players you've seen. Think about the scouts who've identified them. Think about the academy directors who've supported their growth. How many of those conversations did you ever get to hear? Talking about talent, about how to develop players, about what works, what doesn't work, has ever made it out the training ground? Because the people closest to the game, the ones doing the really developmental work, rarely need a platform. Their knowledge stays inside the clubs, inside their brains, inside the training sessions that they deliver. This is what we're here to change. My name's Chris Brown. We're here to introduce a new podcast, Mina Cup Inside the Game. Mina Cup Inside the Game is a football podcast built around one idea, that the conversations happening inside the game are more valuable than almost anything being said about it from the outside. We talk about coaching, not systems and formations, but philosophy. Thinking behind why coaches do what they do, how they build trust with young players, what they're actually looking for in a training session that has nothing to do with who wins the drill. We talk about talent identification. Coaches and scouts are generally looking for beyond technique and pace, the qualities that are almost impossible to see if you don't know where to look. The difference between a player who performs and a player who develops. We talk about pathways, how a young player moves from the first training session to a professional academy and everything that can go right or wrong along the way. The decisions, the timing, the moments that change careers. We talk about international football, what happens to a young player's development when they go step onto the pitch against opponents from a completely different footballing culture, why that experience, that specific stress accelerates growth in ways that local competition simply cannot. And we talk about the things that football rarely talks about at all, the mental side of development, the role families play, what life inside an academy actually looks like, the questions that matter but rarely get asked. This podcast is for coaches at every level who want to understand how their peers think, who want the kind of insight that usually only comes after 20 years in the game. It's for parents navigating the most important support role in youth football, for players who want to understand the world they're trying to enter, for anyone who's ever watched a young footballer and wondered, what does it actually take?